What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest gaming podcast on the internet, the One Up Gamescast. I am one of your hosts, Carl Sinclair, joined as always by my brother from another mother, the man with the plan, Master Chief in the streets, Master Cheeks in the sheets, Jack Gibb. How you doing, buddy?
Call me Mario for today, mate.
Mario for that, mate. I'll call you Mario. Let me be the Luigi to your Mario, mate. How are we?
Very well, very well. What a big week for the games.
Massive week.
Big week for Switches, Nintendos, and our website.
True. It's been,
When you win.
yeah, very busy. When I was like, yeah, it's been full on, and then you like bought it the website, and I'm like, yeah, it's been busy. It's been real busy. Lots to do.
After the Switch 2 reveal, the whole front page of the website got a refresh. Every article was fresh, and every article was Nintendo, except for we got some Game Pass games and some data mining on the Battlefield 6 free-to-play battle royale game mode. So we might just skip those stories. Though I feel like the direct was the big story of the week.
The biggest story, yeah, it was massive. It was crazy. It was great. At least for me personally, I know that there are a lot of people out there that will disagree. It exceeded expectations. I think it did a really good job. How did you feel about the whole thing?
Yeah, no, I think that's well said. I think I had like hopes, and then I had what I thought was going to happen.
Yep.
And it was a lot closer to my hopes.
Which is good. That's all we can
So
ask
I don't want to say like it exceeded my hopes necessarily, but it exceeded what I thought was realistic. I think you sort of mentioned like there's some criticism about the price of it, and I think the price is expensive, but I think the value's about right. You know what I mean? Like, there's features on this console that aren't cheap, and they're really good features. So, some people may say, well, fuck the features, I want a cheaper console. And I mean, yeah, like a Switch 2 Lite will come along. Like a cheaper console will appear. Yeah, maybe it'd be better if it was at launch. I don't know. But I think the value of the console and what it's going to be able to do for the next 8 years, I don't know, it feels alright in that sense.
Yeah, it feels like a good starting point for the next generation of Nintendo's console. I have to say this because I was actually looking at it today at the predictions that were made by us. We were pretty close. Like, we were pretty close with a lot of like what we said we would like to see and what we ended up getting.
I can't remember what I said, but I feel like that's probably the case.
We were crazy close. And what actually threw me was our prediction for release date. Now we were talking
3 each or something.
We predicted. So it was May, June, July was where we saw her at, and what we said. What threw me was in the actual episode we said May, don't really have a date. June, it'll be somewhere between the 5th to the 15th, and July, we said like the 22nd. So we were pretty. We're pretty alright with like where we were at.
I'm surprised it's not July, to be honest. I really thought that's like maybe I didn't mention it on the podcast, but like the day before when we were talking about it, I was like, yeah, July. Like July's a lot for this. I'm really excited that we don't have to wait too long.
Yeah, I think it's all
Less
part
time
of the
to
plan.
save, though. Yeah, less time to save though, which is a bit of a bummer. But yeah, I mean, we don't have to wait long to get our hands on it, or at least know people to get their hands on it, and all those sorts of good things.
True.
Mate, where do we want to start?
Let's start with the features and the overall specs of the thing, because I think that's basically where they started, so I think that's where we should kick off. It's just talking about the console itself. We have articles up, like we said, there's so many, but it's a great one here that literally just has like everything you need to know. So effectively, we'll just go through each point. It's this one surprised the hell out of me. It's the same thickness as the Switch 1.
Yeah, I was surprised about that as well. Like, not even 3mm or something, you know what I mean? Like, it's just the same.
I'm just sitting here and I'm like, well, then what's your excuse for the Switch 1? Why wasn't that stronger?
I think there's a caveat. I think it's slightly different when you include the sticks or whatever, but the actual thickness of the console generally is exactly the same. Which is cool.
Blows my mind. It has a 1080p screen.
Which, for context, the last Switch had a 720p screen, so about double the pixel count.
120 hertz.
That's unbelievable, to be honest. It makes, and I think we touched on this in the podcast, it makes logical sense because if you want to support VRR on docked mode, and you don't have VRR on portable mode, you're probably fucking portable mode. So it makes sense that it's here. Logically and technically, it makes sense. Financially, shocking. Real surprised that it showed up. 120 hertz, VRR support, like that's crazy. Fucking stoked it's there. But that would be contributing to the cost, I think, quite a bit. And again, I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, the screens are probably worth $7 for all I fucking know, really. But,
yeah, true.
Very
Who knows? Speaking of, it's an LCD with HDR support.
Yes, which according to Digital Foundry means the likelihood of it being a mini LED LCD display is high, which is a good thing.
Cool. Lost my train of thought. The Joy-Con 2 connect magnetically. They no longer slide on. They magnetically connect. And then they called me out in the middle of the this direct, and they said that you can't just pull them off. And I took that personally. So I have pre-ordered 2 consoles, one to destroy to get the magnet off, and one to actually keep forever. And I'll let you guys know how long it takes me to break it. The SL and SR buttons are bigger on Joy-Cons now, which is great.
That is nice. That's the side. That's the like trigger buttons.
Yes. Yeah. Thank God. Just seeing that they're like almost double the size. No, these things are like 3 to 4 times the size of the originals.
Oh, they're huge. Yeah. You couldn't play without the slide-on attachment on the original Joy-Cons. Like,
yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah. So that's fantastic. I like that one.
Very happy about that. The thumbsticks are bigger, which is great for me because I big bugger hands.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Both Joy-Con can be used like a mouse. Crazy that this mouse thing turned out to be true.
Yeah, I know, right? I assumed it would just be one of them, but it's fantastic that it's both.
That's good. It's good for left-handed and right-handed people. It's like they've taken that into account. And then you can also, as our friend Jake said, they could release a DJ game where you can DJ and stuff. It's got better speakers, which is great. It has an internal mic with voice filtering technology for their...
Really excited to see how shit that is.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Which is like mainly for their thing, Game Chat, which we'll get into soon. But yeah.
Yeah, and look, there is some good voice filtering tech on the market for laptops and stuff, but don't know. We'll see how it goes here.
It has 3D audio support via your headphones, which is cool. An improved stand. Now,
I didn't know how to write that. Can you explain what the fuck's going on there?
So, the stand on the Switch is poo-poo caca. It is bad. Like, it's just a little dicky thing that sticks out the side, and it barely keeps it up. I'm assuming people broke many of them. I do believe that this one is more like the Switch OLED. I think the Switch OLED has a better stand, but this thing is like, hey, what would we do if we just like almost completely pulled the back off?
This is reminiscent of like a $2,000 tablet stand. The Surface tablets or whatever. Like this is a premium looking stand, which is cool.
Which is good, which also like cements that they're like, this is a portable thing. You know what I mean? Like it feels like they're not like, oh, this is a home console that you can pick up. It's like, no, we see this as a portable as well as a home console.
It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like tabletop mode is a joke this time. Like
no.
Like on the Switch one, tabletop mode was like
a gimmick.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
But should you do it? You know what I mean? Should you do it? Like these are the questions you gotta ask. Should you?
I remember for the Switch one, I had to buy a little stand that could hold it in tabletop mode, so that way, like it could charge and it wouldn't fall over.
Bro,
sturdy. Like
I have that stand up there, the metal one.
I don't know if mine's metal, but very similar.
I use it to hold up my 2DS over there, so I can charge my 2DS over there. Because that thing's a doorstop.
Not a needed accessory.
Which is great because it has 2 USB-C ports, my friend. One on the top and one on the bottom. Now they're different, aren't they?
They are slightly different. So both can charge the device, which I think matters more than anything other comment. The bottom one can run the dock, and the top one can run accessories. So it sounds like the bottom one has a bit more bandwidth than the top one.
Cool.
But the dock, which I'll probably jump the gun a little bit, but the dock has a couple of USB ports, if I remember correctly. It has an Ethernet port, HDMI port. So it's got a bit more to do, plus more power and all that. So I don't think that's a bad thing. But the USB port on the top is a bit less utility to it.
This is what made me super happy. It has 256 gigabytes worth of storage, mate.
That's the I feel like that's the minimum that would make us happy. But it's like we totally understand there's not more.
Yeah.
I think the cost of this thing would just be fucked at that point.
They would be in even more trouble than they're in.
But I honestly thought they would underdo the storage. And look, maybe in 4 years' time we'll feel like they did, but 256 gig today, very happy.
Yeah, can't complain. And I mean, they have said, like, you know, the micro SD card, it's express card because it doesn't support the other micro SDs anymore. But like, basically day one, if we wanted to, we could double the storage like straight away, which is
it supports up to 2 terabytes on the express card. So
Yeah.
if you can afford it, you can go all the way there. And it's like 200 megabytes a second read and write or something. Like it's a really, it's not like PS5 storage, but it's going to suit the Switch 2 really well, I think.
Yeah. I mean, PS5 wouldn't even let me put a game on an external hard drive for a while there, so they're not winning the cool prize. It has a new dock, 1440p and 4K support. The dock also has a fan.
Yeah, and I probably should have updated the article, but we found out now that the HDMI port it's a HDMI 2 port on the dock. So can't remember exactly what that means, but 4K 60, 1440p, 1080p, 120 hertz, and for HDR content, I think 4K 60 HDR. It does do a bit of upscaling. I don't think it can natively display that, which is not the end of the world, but just pointing that out. I mean, the thing is, right? Like, yeah, it says 4K 60, right? Nothing's gonna look like Forza Motorsport 4K 60. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't think we want to really be pushing 4K too much. I feel like a crisp, detailed, high, like a stable frame rate 1080p is gonna be way funner than 4K. But hey, 4K's there, and it will upscale to 4K. So if you're playing something, or I don't know if you can watch movies on this thing, but if you're doing stuff that isn't 4K, you can up-res it to your TV at least, which is cool.
Very cool. It plays most Switch 1 games. Now, there are some Switch 1 games that are going to have some issues. We have an article up on the website that basically has links to the full 120 games that are going to have an issue day one. We also have the big major players are listed on the website, so definitely go and check that one out. But I think it's good that like it plays, because like in my mind it's like
they found out a little bit more, by the way.
Yeah.
Since I wrote that, there should, when they're done, be a single game that doesn't run on the Switch 2, which is one of those like labs games. You know,
Yeah,
like
Labo.
the cardboard or whatever.
Yep.
Everything else should be able to play. Like the idea of what I've discovered is that some of the more complicated games, because they use certain accessories or features, they won't work on Switch 2 with Switch 2 Joy-Cons. But it seems to me like you should be able to use the Joy-Cons from the Switch 1 wirelessly to get some games over the line.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. So, but like the real edge cases. But then the ones you're talking about are games that should work on backwards compatibility, but Nintendo are having problems with and still working.
Yeah. So it's almost effectively like what they did with the Wii U, where it was like some Wii, you could play Wii games on the Wii U, but it requires you to use like the nunchuck and the Wiimote is effectively.
Yes. I've also found out this afternoon as well that it's not native backwards compatible. So the hardware is not like there's some emulation happening.
Oh,
Similar
okay.
to how 360 games are backwards compatible.
Interesting.
So the Xbox One games just run on Series X because they're built for that chipset. They just run, right? Like there's not really, they're not put in a container, they just work.
Yep.
Whereas the 360 games are put in a container and emulated. Apparently not full emulation. I don't know what the fuck that means, but there is some Nintendo magic in there making those backwards compatible games run, which is probably, similar to 360, those games with problems that Microsoft had to go and work out. So, it might not launch with 100% backwards compatibility, but it's going to be fucking close. Close enough for the moment, I think.
I hope they do like a deep dive on that and tell us how they've done it. I'd be very curious to find out how it all works.
Yeah, I don't know if we know everything about the 360 emulation, but what they've shared is so impressive. So yeah, I hope we get the same from Nintendo.
I'm going to skip the next line here because it's my favorite thing you wrote in the entire article. We'll go to the next one. Micro SD Express card support only. So it's only micro SD Express cards, not normal micro SD cards.
Which I've also found out, like, our SD cards in Australia aren't really labelled Express. So
No,
we're really
they're
going to
not.
have to dive into the spec of what they are. And,
Yeah.
We'll report back at some point on that front. But hey, EB
yeah.
Games, if you're desperate, if you go on EB Games' website, they have Switch 2 micro SD cards. So you know those ones at least. Good to go.
Who knows? Maybe we'll put up an article with what ones are safe and which ones aren't, and we'll do a little bit more research into it.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good.
Data can be transferred from your Switch 1 to your Switch 2, which is really good.
Yeah, I didn't catch it all while we were watching it, to be honest. But yeah, it seems pretty basic, like a new phone. Just
Yep.
couple of get across.
Make them kiss each other, and they'll share all their secrets with each other. It's beautiful.
That's it.
They also revealed a new Pro controller with a sexy black and white color scheme that, talk about things that make you go, I love that thing. So nice.
So good.
I'm a big believer in the Switch Pro controller is one of the nicest feeling controllers in your hands. Like, it just feels great. Feels so good.
I agree. Is it... Wait, have I written a typo or is it actually $200?
What?
That's got to be a typo.
I don't think it's $200. I don't think it... you're scaring me. You've frightened me here, mate. It's not, is it? No, it's 120. Don't do that shit.
We gotta fix the article.
You scared the absolute crap out of me then, because I pre-ordered one of these things thinking it was like 110. So I'm only $10 off. Woo!
Sorry, this article took so long to write, and I tried proofreading it all. But anyway, it's 120. It looks beautiful. It has a couple of extra buttons on the back that can be mapped.
Ooh, the controls.
Apart from that, everything else is pretty much what you would expect.
Yeah, and it's the same price as Mario Kart, so like that's okay. Okay, no, I'm not here to start fights. I didn't mean it. Now my favorite thing you've written here, okay, and I'll let you explain. Ladies and gentlemen, Nintendo Switch 2 games will now be red. The color red, everyone. R-E-D, not R-E-A-D. Jack, you wanna?
I don't remember why I fucking wrote that. Are the game cards red or just the cases? The fact that they're half red now.
So, I'm pretty sure it's all red. Like the case is red, the top of it's red, and the actual game cards that are for Switch 2.
Red enough. They're just somehow more fucking red.
Everything is red. Like they've gone so hard. Everything's
Look,
red.
It'd be weirder if they went blue, but I don't know. Like it's just a lot. It's just a lot. It is what it is.
It is what it is. That's just
this
my favorite
section
thing.
of the direct moves so fast. I don't actually remember even putting that in there. Should have at least put like a photo of one in there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's other articles on the website explaining how the game cartridges work, which we'll get into probably a bit later on.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next thing, right? Let's start talking about like everything else that was announced. The good, the bad, the $199.95 controller. Very excited about it. All right, let's do this. All right, let's talk about the biggest thing. Okay, the thing we saw basically first, right, was Mario Kart World. Oh my goodness. You want to talk about exceeding expectations? It was showing a snippet of a new Mario Kart at the reveal of the console. And thinking, wow, new Mario, can't wait to see what tracks they've got. You know, oh man, looks like they've got even more races in the race. And then I'm like, man, I guess that's their big thing. They're going to have like 14, 15 races at once. And then they show this thing, and it's so much more than that. It is the biggest Mario Kart we've ever seen. It is an open world. It is so many characters all racing at once. Free roam. I can't fathom this game. You know what I mean? Like it's the only thing keeping me going, and I haven't even played it yet. Like, I cannot wait to play this thing. I cannot freaking wait. Looks so good. So nice. Donkey Kong was like goofy ass as hell. But no, I'm here for it. I'm here for it, mate. And we got that. They also announced a direct, didn't they? There's a direct coming for April. What that's
17th.
17th. Thank you.
Yeah, late at night.
Oh, I will be awake for it. Don't you worry about that, mate.
Oh, not too late. 11 p.m. it should be.
Which is nice. Why can't they do that shit for us more often? You know, I would like 11 feels right. You know, like I don't mind getting up at 4 a.m. I don't mind staying up past midnight, but it's also like I'm getting a little bit older. You know what I mean? I need to like have a nap before I do this shit now. I can't just power through with a can of mother and the dream that we're gonna get something good. Especially when the last few directs I've stayed up for, not directs, just like the last few video game things I've stayed up for. I've gotten to the end of them and I've just been like, got a bit of blog post. Better go to sleep. Got work in an hour. Like, come on, guys. But no, mate, what do you think about Mario Kart World? Did it tickle your pickle? Did it like make you as excited as me?
Yeah, like I mean, you know, I skipped the Wii U generation and dropped off the DS generation. Not saying I'm proud of that, but when Mario Kart 8 came to the Switch, like, I was pretty stoked because I played Mario Kart 8 a lot on my siblings' console or, you know, friends or whatever. So when it came to the Switch, I felt like I was enjoying. Deluxe was great, you know, all that sort of stuff. But I've always been like, oh, keen for a fresh Mario Kart. Like, keen, you know, I imagine people that played it a lot on the Wii U are even more keen than I am, you know.
So
I always wondered, like, what could they do to make it better? Like, I feel like Mario Kart 8 was just kind of like perfect, right? I don't know. I've just been like wondering, and I'm like, maybe they just won't. You know, at this point, they did all the extra tracks. I'm like, I feel like they're just committed to this being it. Man, what haven't they changed? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, what haven't they fucking changed? Like, I'm not surprised it's called Mario Kart World. You know what I mean? Because it just doesn't really feel like Mario Kart 9, and I don't think that's a bad thing. It just feels like something else. It's crazy. I'm keen to see how it works as a live service. I'm keen to see how it works for people that just want that circuit experience. You know what I mean? Like, let's say Rainbow Road, right? Like, it's got to have a Rainbow Road. How does that incorporate into the world? You know, like, it seems like they've done it pretty well of keeping all these biomes, you know, distinct, and like, is it? I don't know. Like, you know, some battle royale maps, it feels like, oh, this is the snow area because we need a snow area. Is it gonna feel like that, or is it gonna feel, you know, really hand done? And I feel like they're gonna nail it because they've been working on it for a while. I imagine. I don't know. I'm excited. I don't even know what to say, man. Like, it's just, I love how quickly they confirm that Grand Prix is still a thing. You can still just do 4 tracks and have a Grand Prix. You know what I mean? Like, it's still, all the original shit's still there. It just added so much to it. I'm really excited. I mean, you know, so excited I pre-ordered a console with Mario Kart at 3:40 in the morning. So, you know, I'm in.
It really, it's not only just like, it really is to put in Forza terms, because that's where a lot of comparisons are happening online, is like, it really is the horizon to motorsport. You know, in Mario Kart, the numbered versions have been very motorsport, very track, and this is very much like, this is an open world. This feels like more like a spin-off from the numbered titles than it feels like the continuation, which I'm so here for. But it also kind of like makes me excited for other Nintendo IP, what they're doing with that, because like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe felt like the Mario Kart version of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. You know what I mean? Like, everyone was here, every stage was here, every fighter was here, every track was here. What are they going to do with Smash? Like, what do you do to evolve Smash? Because they're clearly in the market now of evolving their games and taking them to the next level. You know what I mean? Like, Mario Kart 8 sort of feels like the last sort of like, at least for a while, traditional Mario Kart we're going to get. I think Smash Bros. Ultimate, at least there is the rumored Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe, which will have everything inside of it. And I think that is actually real. Mario Kart World Tour has proved to me that is probably real, and that is probably just going to come out to keep us, like, Smash Bros. In the forefront of our minds until they release something that is next level. Do you know what I mean? Like, they could probably evolve it, like, to the point of, like, you know, Street Fighter 6's evolution, you know? Like, it was sort of, like, semi-open world, walking around, getting into different fights, going to the arcade. Like, that, like Ultimate could really evolve in that way, and I'm very interested to see how they evolve in that way. But yeah, Mario Kart World for me is just the first sort of confirmation that this generation of Nintendo, more than anything else, I think is going to see massive evolutions and massive jumps for their franchises. And there's a game later on that we'll talk about which, like, just cements that idea. But I'm keen to see what this new Nintendo are cooking, because Switch felt like a return to form. Switch 2 feels like the evolution, and I'm excited to see the evolution because the return to form was so damn good.
And neat as well.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
It's a real shake-up. I hope that Mario Kart World has some more compact circuits. Like, a lot of the things we've seen feel really big.
Yeah.
Because then I feel like if there's still some compact circuits and stuff, then we don't need, like Forza Motorsport, we won't need that equivalent. Like, this will just carry both fans, you know, all types of people will be in, because they're doing that thing I've talked about it too many times, so I'll be very brief. But like, Forza Horizon 3 should have included like Bathurst in the track, like baked into the open world, should have been the street circuit of Bathurst. And this looks like exactly that. Like, hey, this is a open world free roam, but the tracks are baked in. So I don't think we're going to need a Mario Kart 9 anytime soon. I think this is going to carry the torch.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that'll be true for every other game Nintendo makes. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see like what they do, how they do it. I'm just keen to see.
Yeah, like when they make Mario Odyssey, I still want a 2D Mario.
Yes.
But with this open world Mario Kart, I'm not like suddenly like, oh, I hope we get a normal Mario Kart as well. Like I don't think that's the case.
And I think like if you are really hungry, like I can see this happening. Like it's probably going to happen. That like we're probably going to get 8 released on the Switch 2. We'll get a Switch 2 version of 8 that will just come baked in with every track that was part of the booster course or whatever they call them.
Yeah,
they will come on there. So there is, if you are a Mario Kart traditionalist, there is a game out there for you that literally has every single track that you've ever loved and known. It's there, you know, and I'm sure like Double Dash will be added to the GameCube lineup eventually, and you'll have the ability to go back and play these games that you love. You just gotta, be patient. I'm just happy that they are trying something new, but they aren't, you know, entirely leaving behind the people that are clamoring for the old. Like there are ways for you to enjoy that type of game, and I'm happy. I'm happy for you people. I'm happy. Let's talk about an innovation that is just not gonna work, but I can't wait to play around with it, and that is game chat. I am so excited. I'm so excited, bro. Like, I just, you know, my favorite thing about the game chat reveal was it felt real. Like, when they were sharing their screens, it was stuttered. It didn't play perfectly. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they made it seem like it was the, like, innovative technology. It's like, they're streaming. Depending on your internet connection, probably not going to look that good. Also, they revealed a camera, like a Switch 2 camera that you could use to put yourself not only like into the like, it looks like Discord. Let's be honest, it looks like Discord. Like it's effectively Discord on your Switch, which makes me think we're probably not going to get Discord support anytime soon because they're going to want to push this. But also, if this works, I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that because I just think, like, it could...
When was the last time Xbox and PlayStation innovated on game chat equivalent, like party chat or whatever? Like, they haven't in years.
Oh, PlayStation did record every single thing we've ever said, and that's why we started using Discord, because we got sick and tired of them listening in on every single conversation we were having. But no, you're right. They really haven't done anything to innovate in that space.
The PS4 getting party chat was the last thing.
Yeah.
And then they've added Discord in the last few years, which is great. I think the next Xbox and PlayStation will have this game chat suite. Everything Nintendo does, they'll be able to do, but it'll be through Discord.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think you're bang on there.
Like there can't be many people using the native Xbox party chat these days. Like it's cross-play and stuff. Like it's about time we got cross-chat.
Do you want to know you are so right. The only person that I can think of in modern like terms of like using party chat and stuff on Xbox, right, that you see all the time. Have you ever heard of a streamer called Jinxie?
No, not sure.
He plays Six Siege. He's like deep into that, and he's an Xbox gamer, and he like he gets people to send him clips via the Xbox. Like you send your clips via Xbox. Like he party chats on Xbox and all that sort of stuff. Like he is like hardcore living that world, but he's the only one.
Yeah. I just can't imagine like even if we were to like all jump on a console game, like you'd be on PlayStation, I'd be on Xbox. We just can't. Like it's just the way it is now.
Yeah,
it's great.
Discord is the way for them, I think. Whereas like Nintendo, like they're like, like Discord is the way for Xbox and PlayStation, considering crossplay and all that sort of stuff is so prevalent. And when it comes to Nintendo, like you ain't playing Mario Kart anywhere else, so this makes 100% sense. Like you ain't playing Mario Party anywhere else.
Yeah. Look, I hope they add Discord down the track, of course, but yeah. I mean, hey, this is great regardless. This is cool.
Yeah, very very cool.
I think you know how like we're saying, not many people would just be in Xbox chat. I can imagine a lot of game sessions happening out there just on Switches.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're bang on the money there. That's so good. And the camera, I pre-ordered one of them. It's like $70. Like, I think it's a cool little niche bit of tech that really is like, You can plug in any USB-C camera, it appears, but Nintendo's like, have ours. It's on a little stick, and I'm like, you know what? You've curried favor with me. I will buy your stick.
You know how in the reveal, like in the reacts, we were talking about it feeling like the iToy, because you can actually play some games with the Vision, with the thing or whatever. I think looking back though, I think it actually reminds me a lot more of the Xbox 360 camera, like before the Kinect.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, no, that's very true. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, we're going back in time.
It's something that I feel like if Xbox, like with all the Kinect stuff and all the PlayStation 3D camera stuff, like it's just funny that Nintendo comes out with the most basic ass fucking webcam on a pole. And it's like, perfect, everyone's happy.
Yeah,
have not seen a single fucking complaint.
Bro, I'm like, I'll take one of them. And that special piranha plant one I've been seeing online, I'll take two. I'll take one of them.
Real nice.
Thank you. Mate, next we're going to talk about game share. Do you want to break down for the people what game share is, how it works?
Oh, I really didn't. It's pretty much... You remember the download play feature on the DS? Where, like, someone could own, like, Super Mario Brothers, but you could have someone else join your session from a DS who doesn't own the game, and you could play like a limited subset of the game together.
Yep.
It seems like that for the Switch, but probably it seems like a little bit more at the platform level as opposed to the game level. That wasn't quite clear to me, but have I sort of nailed it there, or is there anything else?
You're pretty bang on. Yeah, that's basically how it's going to work.
You know, we sort of mentioned before the show, like with the price of this thing, there might be families that have less Switch 2s than they had Switch 1s. And this sort of feature will probably potentially allow more people to get involved, regardless of their purchases or how many games they got. So I think it's a great thing that Nintendo's announced.
Yeah,
just don't really fully get it there yet.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Well, let's move on. It's just another good announcement that will eventually pay off. Let's talk about Game of the Year. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. The game that, oh man, I wish it was just on the console for us to play. But it's not. It's a paid title that is digital only, that will be available day one, that will teach you the Switch 2 and all its beautiful features and take you on a wonderful little tour of the console itself. And did I mention it's not free?
I'm just gobsmacked that it's not free.
How much do you think this is?
Look, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like $10 or something, like nothing too crazy.
Oh, but that would surprise me. That would surprise me.
If it's an $80 fucking $100 game, it just looks like shit.
No
way.
I think it's $40.
Man,
I think it's a $40 title. If this thing is any less than 40, I would consider. But no.
This is one of those rare times where PlayStation is out Nintendo here. Astrobot is more of a Nintendo game than this is, and was packed.
Bro, and like Wario64 on Twitter literally was just reminding everybody, I think it was yesterday, he's like, just so everyone knows, Astro's Playroom is still downloadable for free on your PS5. Like, oh shit. Do you think they backtrack on this? Do you think it becomes free before the launch?
I don't know. I don't think anyone's talking about it. Like, as in,
yeah,
we're sitting here shit on it, but I don't think anyone's really...
People are more mad about the price of the machine and the games than they are about what should be free pack-in game. And I think that's how they're going to get away with it. But I also think that this could also be their way to try to please people, being like, look, we've dropped 67 cents off the console and we're making this thing free. Okay? Everyone calm down.
That's the thing, right? You either drop the price of the console to cheer people up, or you add more value. And something like this is a quick value add. I mean, I don't know how much really... Like, if they made it free, it wouldn't change my mind on anything I've said, but yeah.
That's crazy to me it's paid for when this is probably literally... Like, Astro was a proper game. This is not. Like, to me...
To be honest.
This is just like, to me, this is like a 20-minute tech demo. Like, why am I paying for a 20-minute tech demo?
When I went through this article and added in some YouTube videos from trailers from the Nintendo YouTube channel, Welcome to It was nowhere to be seen. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't a trailer for it on their YouTube channel.
They want us to forget it exists, bro. Yeah, fair enough. Let's talk about the absolutely beautiful, smexy $200 Nintendo Switch 2 controller, mate. It has HD Rumble 2, motion controls, built-in amiibo functionality, baby, a capture button, the C button for game chat, the GLGR buttons that you can map to any button you choose, an audio jack, and it's only for use with a Nintendo Switch 2 system.
Oh, I didn't even notice that part. I'm kind of surprised about that, to be honest. Anyway, yeah, I mean, all of that I would expect, but happy to see the GL and GR extra buttons on the back. That part was less, like, it was more optional. The rest of it, I feel like, has to be there.
It's sexy. I really like the look of it. It's just like, it's so smooth.
It is. It is. I think it's going to feel a lot like the other Switch 1 Pro controller.
Hell yeah. And then
Oh,
I didn't even think about the battery life. Why does everyone keep bringing up battery life just to spoil my day? My goodness, this thing better have good battery life, I swear to God. And then finally, last thing in the sort of like feature section before we move on to the glorious thing that is the games. There will be 3 types of games primarily available for the Nintendo Switch 2 system. You will have Switch 1 games, you will have Switch 2 games, and you will have Switch 2 Edition games. So Switch 2 Edition games will be upgraded versions of games that will be available on both the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. And of course, Switch 1 games will be primarily Switch 1, and Switch 2 games will be exclusive Switch 2 games. Yeah, cool. I like that a lot. I'm glad they're pretty transparent with that. Like that, you know, Switch 1 games there will be some Switch 1 games that are just for Switch 1, probably from that Switch Direct. Switch 2 games, there will be exclusives, which is something that like Xbox and PlayStation sort of like tiptoed around for a while when they introduced the Series X and the PS5. They
the ball on would be
really did. So it's nice that Nintendo's come out and said that we will have exclusive games for this console within.
Yeah, so Mario Kart is an exclusive game.
Yeah, like within the first day, like they're like, this is not going to be anywhere else, which I really do appreciate. And yeah, Switch 2 Edition games have also said that, yeah, there will be some like games, for example, Metroid, where it was primarily developed for the Switch 1, so it will be releasing on the Switch 1, but it will definitely play better on a Switch 2, and it will have a Switch 2 Edition available day 1. Really transparent, love that a lot. Now, let's start talking about the games. And one of the first games they showed off to give us a look at what a Switch 2 Edition game is Super. Can't forget the Super, mate. Super Mario Party Jamboree, which is adding, Jamboree TV, which is a whole bunch of new, I would say Jamboree TV is the Switch 2 add-on to Super Mario Party Jamboree. It's got a whole bunch of features that will, like, primarily use stuff such as the mouse controls, the new mics, and the Switch 2 camera if you have one. Like, they've really... Like, this is going to be our Mario Party for the Switch 2 for a little while.
Yeah, it's got a whole bunch of new mini games and all that. And then there's also features like you can see each other's faces through the cameras, like above your player's head. And I assume that would work throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like a bit of an expansion pack. So Switch 2 editions are not consistent. So this is a content improvement.
Yes.
Switch 2 edition. There'll be other Switch 2 editions that are more focused on like frame rate and things like that.
Let's talk about it. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are both getting Switch 2 editions, which are enhancing resolution and frame rates and adding HDR support.
Yeah, so that is not a content improvement. It's not even clear that they come with the DLC. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
That, I don't think it's that clear.
They freaking better. Jesus Christ. If I'm paying full price for these fuckers again.
And that's the thing. They are basically, full price.
Which, and I think I would be more okay with it if they were packaged together, but they're not. They're being sold separately again. So, I mean, if you're someone that hasn't played Tears of the Kingdom, that's like, here's your way in. But like, everyone's played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So just like package them together.
So not only is it repackaged, but Tears of the Kingdom at EB Games is $90. And on Switch 2, it's $110.
Do you know what they should have done? Bayonetta 1 and 2, right? They were remastered and sold separately, right? And what they should have done was, so they did a edition of Bayonetta 2, which came with a copy of Bayonetta 1 packaged in. They should have just done like a Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom collector's set that had both of them packaged in together for physical people. And then if you wanted to get them digitally, then you could get them separately or in a bundle. That's what they should have done. But they didn't. And like, this is like...
We should mention, though, that you can upgrade your existing copy.
Yes, you can do that. But like...
Yeah. It's not the same.
It's not the same. It just feels like weird. Like, I'm going to spend $100
because of the physical nature of the Switch 1 cartridge as well. Like, if it's on your digital account, sure. Also, improved load times. And I saw on Twitter, like an hour ago, someone put up a comparison of loading into something in Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't know what it was, but loading in. And it was like...
Oh, to the underground.
That might have been it. It was like, I can't remember exactly. It was like double the load time, like as in speed.
Yeah.
Like it was real snappy. And then on the Switch 1, it was like 16, 17 seconds, where it was like 5, 6 seconds on the Switch 2. So,
God.
I like that a lot. And I hope that Switch 1 games can take advantage of that without update. Because there's a few Switch 1 games that take about 7 years to load.
Yeah, true. Very true. Yeah, so true. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is also getting a Switch 2 edition with additional content called Star-Crossed Worlds. So there's another example of getting extra stuff. And then Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will launch on both consoles this same day, I'm assuming. We don't have a release date for it yet. But the Switch 2 version will come with mouse support and performance modes. So the mouse support will allow you to play it like you're playing the older Metroid games, like the Wiimote style. And the performance modes are, you get a quality mode for 4K 60 FPS HDR in handhelds 1080p 60 FPS HDR. In performance mode, you get 1080p 120 frames per second HDR, and in handheld mode, it will be at 720p 120 FPS HDR. Awesome.
Fucking crazy. I love it.
Oh, I cannot wait to play this Metroid game. Then you have Pokemon Legends ZA Switch 2 Edition. Will have enhanced resolution and frame rates. Another game that is probably going to launch on both the same day, and the Switch 2 version will be the better, sexier way to play, but nice that it's available on both. Then we got the announcement of a brand new game that will use the mouse mode of the Switch 2 called Drag Cross Drive. Unofficial sequel to ARMS. Looks great. Can't wait to check it out. Then we got into the third-party partner stuff, and
feels like it never ended, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Just fasten your seatbelts. We're going to get through this as quickly as possible because there's a lot. So, predicted, arrived, and oh my god, was it sexy. Elden Ring is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, and it is coming later this year in the form of the Tarnished Edition, which would be for just all you say this out there on the go. Hades 2 is also announced to be coming to the console later this year. Street Fighter 6 is launching day one with amiibo support and a brand new edition called the Champions Edition or the Fighters Edition or something, which allows you, it's basically a version of the game packed in with every DLC fighter that's been released so far. The amiibos are coming, there's 3 of them. I believe it's Luke and the other 2 new characters that I can't remember off the top of my head because I like the old guys better, and 22 cards in what they've officially called today the starter set, which implies to me that we're going to get some more. So I'm very excited about that. We got a trailer for Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion. Very excited for that one. And also found out today that, unlike the first one, this one is cross-platform, so it's coming to PlayStation and Xbox as well. That's dropping June 9th. Split Fiction is coming launch day. Need I say more? Split Fiction, biggest game on the planet at the moment. EA Sports FC, Madden NFL, like, you know what I mean? Like, sports games are coming.
Switch editions, though. I think that's worth saying. Like, they appear to be the full releases.
Let's go. If you're a fan, I'm happy for you. Hogwarts Legacy is also coming launch day. Yeah, this one was interesting. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. Kyle, why is that interesting? Because it also included a little snippet. It appears that they're adding SpongeBob DLC, like, to the game. I'm here for it. That's kind of cool. I think it's cool. I think old games becoming new again, adding new stuff is a really good way to sell it to people. You know what I mean? Like, oh, why don't I just go play it on my PS2? Because SpongeBob's not there, mate. That's why.
Apparently that was PC footage as well.
Oh.
Not Switch 2 footage. Just not that.
Hitman is also coming to the Switch 2. Let's go. Murder People on the Go. That's coming launch day. And IO also have announced that the James Bond game, Project 007, will also launch on the Switch 2. Let's freaking go. I was hoping for a little bit more, but we just got the same freaking reveal trailer. I swear to God, if we don't see a little bit from this game this year, I'm going to be so mad. I need to see this thing. I'm so excited. Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster, which threw me when I seen it, because I was so convinced when it started playing. I'm like, oh yeah, Final Fantasy IX. And then it was like Bravely Default, and I was like, okay. Happy to see it. Can't wait to play it. That's coming launch day. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Yakuza is making its way to a Nintendo console yet again. It's coming June 5th. Very excited about that. Then, we started popping off with some first-party stuff, kind of. I think this is their way of being like, well, there's some third-party stuff. Are you guys ready to get real horny? Hyrule Warriors is getting a sequel, and it's called Age of Imprisonment. Now, I'm pretty sure that Hyrule Warriors, this is the sort of like, I don't know if this is after Tears, during Tears. I don't think it's before Tears, but it takes place somewhere around there. Like, this is basically a mini sequel to Tears of the Kingdom, very much like, I think they did DLC for 1, which was set before 1. So instead of just doing DLC for 2, they've just gone and done a sequel to Hyrule Warriors, which wasn't set. No, there was a Hyrule Warriors game that was set in Tears, right? There was a Hyrule Warriors, and then there was Hyrule Warriors something. Yeah, no, there was Hyrule Warriors, and then that's awesome. And then they did Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and now they're doing Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. And Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity was set before the first game during the fall, which led to everything that happened in the first game. Sorry, I'm just having a brain blast of Legend of Zelda stuff. My apologies. I'll get back on track. I need to go play some Zelda. Next, we got to look at the updates coming to Nintendo Switch 2 Online. And I'm getting choked up a little bit. Sorry, everyone. GameCube was announced to be coming to the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass. It's exclusive to the Switch 2. Sorry, Switch 1 people, but that's how it is. Mate, some of the games that got announced were literally games that we spoke about on the podcast. Okay? Wind Waker. This is Nintendo going, hey, you know that Wind Waker remaster you wanted? You can go fuck yourself, because now you're just going to play the original with a little bit nicer graphics. Like, okay. Soul Calibur 2, my god. My nipples have never been harder than when I seen Soul Calibur 2. That's a lie, because we also got to look at a whole bunch of games coming, and my nipples got so freaking hard, I accidentally poked holes in my screen. We saw F-Zero GX, Super Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Just remake it, Nintendo shit. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. XD, not like the stupid emoji. We had XD before you guys. Mario Smash Strikers, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, and just to tickle my pickle all the way to Pleasure Town, Pokemon Coliseum. Let's freaking go, everyone. Fucking go. Oh, God. They also announced that we were getting a GameCube controller, which also has the chat button on it, and it's wireless, and I cried tears of joy, and then just like, I shut off the reacts, and I just bawled my eyes out, and then turned it back on again and acted so cool.
Can you explain to me why that's a big deal?
Because the majority of the games that I have just listed have been locked on that console since...
Sorry, why is the controller a big deal?
Oh, the controller a big deal? Because this is like the first time in a long time that like Nintendo's done a GameCube controller that like 1 is wireless and 2 is from them. There's been a lot of third parties doing that sort of stuff. And like the last time Nintendo did a wireless version of this, it was called the Wavebird. And it is getting expensive. Like it's really expensive to play it on like the GameCube. So we're getting an official GameCube controller that is wireless so we can play these GameCube games on a brand new console, which is just so nice.
But sorry, I'm probably like so ignorant here. But yeah, so I understand the games have been locked out for a while. So
yes.
we're keen to play them. A lot of emotional people online about this announcement, which is awesome.
Yes.
GameCube controller from Nintendo at a reasonable price. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yes.
But why wouldn't you just load up Pokemon Coliseum on like a Joy-Con? Like why does this controller need to be re-released? I don't see the Xbox 360 controller getting re-released with backwards compatibility. Like I'm so confused. It's
like I think it's also to do. It's like it's 50%. like, this controller is the way people remember, and I think how a lot of these games should be experienced, because, like, the way it feels and the way it's very distinct. Another thing is they've done this for every single online. So they re-released the NES controllers, they re-released the SNES controllers, they re-released the Mega Drive controllers, they did a Nintendo 64 controller. The only thing they haven't done for is like, like it's like you can only purchase them if you have a Nintendo online account, and you go to the Nintendo website and you put in your account details, and then they're not just an EB. These are from Nintendo, and you order them from Nintendo, but you have to have a Switch online account in order to purchase.
So, okay. I think I'm probably starting to get a bit more now. So I could play Mario 64 on the Virtual Console and buy a Nintendo 64 controller from Nintendo,
which works on Switch,
and then and then basically experience it how I would have felt it as a kid. Okay, I think, all right. Sorry, I know that you sort of just had to dumb that down for me.
No, it's fine.
Why do people give a fuck about this weird looking controller? But
I'm pretty sure that NES controllers actually slid on the console as well. Like they slid on, like they clicked on like a
Joy-Con.
Yeah, like a Joy-Con. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's big. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Add another one to the bloody collection. Then we went back to some third-party stuff. We got to look at Deltarune. That's coming June 5th. Borderlands 4. Am I the only one that thinks Randy Pitchford is just riding this wave and is slowly but surely turning into a Las Vegas magician that thinks he looks cool but he doesn't?
I think it'll all depend on how good Borderlands 4 is.
Yeah, man, I hope if Borderlands 4 is trash, he needs to really, really do the best magic trick I've ever seen it disappear, because I'm so sick of seeing this guy.
Is Borderlands 4 coming to Xbox One?
I don't know. Great question. I don't know.
The reason I don't think it is, according to Google, it's not. So that excites me because it means that this is a AAA game on the Series X, PS5, coming to Switch 2.
Yeah.
And it's not like Xbox One, PS4 version. It's a, it'll have its compromises, I'm sure. But this announcement in particular was when I started to be okay, that's that and Elden Ring really cement what is possible down the line. Don't get me wrong, Hogwarts Legacy, all that sort of stuff is great, but that could just be a shitty port of the Switch One. You know what I mean? Extra res on the Switch One.
It probably is. Yeah, Legacy 2.
It might be. A bit of frame rate, obviously a good thing. But Borderlands 4, there's no last gen version of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then our God and Savior, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, coming to the Switch 2 with mouse support. I bought this 2 days before this stupid freaking direct that would show me that we were going to get it. Oh, dude. I remember because we were talking about mouse mode and we were like, imagine Civilization or something, or Age of Empires using this mouse mode. Yeah. And I was so curious as to how this thing would run on a Switch. So I got it. And then they were like, hey, Switch 2 edition. And I'm like, pay for the upgrade, I guess. I love that.
Yeah, they did highlight the upgrade path there.
Yeah, it's like... I'm terrible for the economy, because I'm just going to buy a brand new copy on Switch 2 just so it's on my shelf, you know what I mean? I'm a terrible person. I know I am. Live with it. WWE 2K and NBA 2K are coming. Survival Kids. I'll just wait for the Sea of Thieves port. I'm pretty sure that's what I said during the react. I was like, this looks great. I'll wait for Sea of Thieves. Yeah. Enter the Gungeon 2. Let's go. That looks so good. They're sort of entering a new 3D sort of space for Gungeon. Very excited about that. Star Seeker. Astroneer Expeditions. Don't know how they got into the lineup. Good on them. Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. Coming launch day.
See, this is exciting for the Switch too, but it sort of falls into the Elden Ring category where there is a PS4 version.
Yeah.
But to be fair, we've seen some footage of Cyberpunk on Switch too, and it does look good.
All this needs to do is run day one, and it's golden.
It's fine, yeah.
Now this next one, if you want your pickle tickled, mate, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is coming. No word on Rebirth, but I'm sure it's coming. And if this thing is able to run Remake, I'm sure it's going to be able to run whatever the third one will be. But yeah, that's crazy. Final Fantasy coming to Nintendo. Very exciting. Oh, so excited. And then what you've written here is quick reveal montage. This is not going to be quick. Strap in, everyone. Kitsugami, Path of the Goddess, coming launch date. Hollow Knight Silk Song, how fucking dare they, 2025. Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar, 27th of August, 2025. Goodnight Universe, 2025. Hollow Knight Silk Song, I can't believe they put that in there, 2025. 2 Point Museum, 2025. Wild Hearts S, a Switch version of Wild Hearts, 25th of July, 2025. Can't wait for that. Witchbrook, Winter, 2025. Hollow Knight Silk Song, it's like they're trying to tease me, 2025. Puyo Puyo Tetris, S2, coming launch day. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, launch date. Looks great, looks awesome. Haven't played it yet, definitely gonna wait. Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Winter 2025, looks awesome. Star Wars Outlaws might actually get me to play the game, 2025. Hollow Knight Silk Song, yes.
Yeah, if you just read Hollow Knight Silk Song out over and over again.
Yes.
I'm sitting there like, where the fuck are you getting this list from? Like, my list isn't broken. I've got no duplicates. I'm like, anyway, why are you reading that out over and over again?
Because we've been waiting for Hollow Knight Silk Song for what feels like fucking 10 years, and they've just kept delaying it, and they've kept postponing it. This thing, Hollow Knight Silk Song, right? We'd been waiting years for it when you and me were at Fortress to watch the Xbox.
Okay.
That's when it was. That's where it was revealed again. Again, that was the first time we'd seen it in 2 years.
Yeah, and that was like a few years ago, right?
That was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, fuck, all right.
That's why they put a year on it this time. Because the last time we seen it, there was no date at all. Like, it was nothing.
That was in another Xbox conference.
Yes, yeah, and now they've put a date on it, and I feel like they're teasing me. That's why I keep bringing it up, so everyone knows that it was actually fucking there. Because so many people, I think it was Jacksepticeye, right, before it started, put clown makeup on and a wig because he'd said that he reckoned it was going to be here. And he put the clown makeup on because it clearly wasn't going to be there, and it showed up for like 10 seconds, not even, with a date, and then moved on. I was like, I remember during the reacts, like, it was so quick that I was like, Silk Song? And then it just moved on to the next thing, and I'm like, when are we going to get this? Like, what the hell?
I was just going to say, during the reacts, I tried to write all these down.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't really remember.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Because, like, Silk Song is a big deal, right? So Silk Song was originally DLC for Hollow Knight that turned into its own game. And it follows the other protagonists,
right,
quote-unquote protagonists from the game.
Yep.
It's all about her. And we've just been waiting forever.
Gotcha.
Like, hang on a second. When did Hollow Knight come out? I think it was like 2015, right? Like 2017 Hollow Knight came out.
Okay,
And
it's been 8, yeah.
Yeah, and Silk
That's
Song.
when the Switch one came out.
Yeah, man. Yes, dude. Yes. And
Oh yeah, I remember this game.
Silk Song got announced in February of 2019. That's how long we've been waiting for Silk Song. So every time I see Silk Song, I make a point of being like, there's Silk Song. They've actually put a date on it this time, which is like mental. Because originally it had a date and it got real close to the launch. And then they said, hey, we're delaying it. And then nothing forever. And then, yeah. And then, remember, because it was the Xbox conference where they said that everything that we've shown is releasing in the next.
Oh my god, that was that conference.
Yeah,
right?
and Silk Song was there. It didn't come out. Oh man, I'm convinced it's just never coming. Let's.
That was a bad call by them.
Oh, mate.
Very bad call.
I feel
haven't
like
done it since.
they haven't. They really haven't. Phil doesn't trust the Silk Song guys anymore. Oh, so Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, that's another good one to see. Was that on last year?
Yes, I believe it was. I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That might find a second life on the Switch.
I hope so, because, yeah, it needs life somewhere. Nobunaga's Ambition, Awakening Complete Edition. I'll be playing that one on launch day. Fast Fusion, launch day. Shadow Labyrinth, the Pac-Man game that is basically a, like, mini sequel to the Secret Level episode. That's coming 18th of July 2025. Oh, yeah. Raidu Remaster, The Mystery of the Solarist Army. It's coming 19th of June 2025. Get hyped. No Sleep for Kaname Date from AI. The Somnium Files. That's coming 25th of July. Reanimal 2025, Fortnite launch day, Arcade Archives, Ridge Racer is coming launch day. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, that tickles some pickles, that's coming 2025. Tamagotchi, I'm not saying Tamagotchi, can't make me. Plaza coming 27th of June 2025, and Human Fall Flat 2 is coming very soon then.
Just googled Star Wars Outlaws. I don't actually think it's last gen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good for them.
I've switched to. I like it.
Good for them. Yeah, that's cool. That's really good, actually. Good for Switch. Good for Ubisoft choices. Then the screen goes black. Our tickles have been sufficiently pickled. Our pickles have been sufficiently tickled at this point. Sorry, I pickled my tickle. We were having a great time, and then suddenly I look at a brand new game, and the words FromSoft came on screen. And I can't remember how long this trailer is. I think it's like 3 minutes long. But for a good 2-3 minutes, us boys were sitting there being like, is this Bloodborne?
I don't think we were alone either.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were like, because Bloodborne is like the IP, the characters, everything is owned by PlayStation. So if it was here, it would mean PlayStation is playing nice with people, but it also means that like maybe a sequel is on the way. But it is not Bloodborne. But they got real close. It's called Dusk Bloods. It is a Switch 2 exclusive. It is a PvPvE with online multiplayer where 8 players vie for supremacy among themselves and challenging foes. Props to Nintendo for getting this game, because I feel like, I don't know if I would say that this was originally conceived as a Nintendo exclusive game. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, something they just had in the back burner that I was looking for a customer, maybe.
Dusk Bloods feels like a Bloodborne multiplayer that PlayStation didn't want, so Nintendo gobbled up, and it looks freaking awesome, and now they're sitting there bashing themselves in the head like, greenlight the sequel. You know what I mean? Like, this looks awesome. And the fact that we got the biggest From Software game in history, Elden Ring, and a brand new From Software game coming exclusively to the Switch 2 is mental. Like that can't be understated. As much as we would love to have seen some more first-party stuff, it cannot be understated how much of a moment that is for not just Nintendo, but From Software, who I just feel have become like industry leaders in like, hey, we've got something coming out. Cool, I'll take it. Do you want to know what it's about? No, give it to me. I'll take 12. Like, nailing it.
What's that game from Crytek?
The Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, I got those vibes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. I like where your head's
now,
at. Yeah.
I've never played a From Software game.
Oh.
But this, to me, like, I think I'll be getting this one.
Yeah?
This is the most excited I've been for a From Software game.
Oh, bro.
Which is not my sort of game. Like no disrespect. Like,
I would love
the magnificence of them.
if they ever do like a Night Rain, because so Elden Ring Night Rain, I don't think it's called Elden Ring, but I think it is. Elden Ring Night Rain or whatever it's called is coming soon, and that is their 3-player multiplayer in the Elden Ring universe. If they did a free weekend of that, would you jump in and give it a go?
Yeah,
Cool.
I would.
All right, cool. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, but I don't think I'd be. Look, I'm happy to have a look at it later on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm like in to purchase it, but having to have been forced to watch this,
Yep.
like I'm like, this sounds great, and this might be my gateway into the universe of From Software. You know what I mean? Like, as in, this might be.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I'm keen to buy a copy of this. I'll say that.
Oh, awesome. I hope it has some sort of connection to Bloodborne. That would be great. It won't, because Sony owns the IP and everything, but
You play as the Bloodsworn, so
yeah,
there we go.
Just some cool.
You know what? I think this is gonna sound so shitty, I know, but like I think the fact that there's like guns and stuff in it, I'm like that like for me, just like is that might be my gateway.
Yeah, fair enough. That's so fair. Yeah.
That might be other people's turn off though, so I don't know.
You might like Bloodborne then once we've played this, if you like the vibe, because Bloodborne had guns in it and stuff. See, Bloodborne had utilized guns in such an interesting way. It was like, it didn't make sense for a Victorian sort of like monster slayer to walk around with a shield, so you would use the gun as a way to parry. So instead of blocking with a shield, an enemy would like go to attack you, you would use the gun to sort of stagger them. You would shoot at them and it would stagger them, and then you go wild on them. It was really cool.
I've spoken to a lot of people about Bloodborne and watched a lot of hours of gameplay, and I appreciate that game a lot. But yeah, I've never, I don't know, just never like
Never spoke
wanted
to you.
pick up the controller.
Yeah,
But
fair.
who knows? Maybe Dustbloods will get me in.
Oh, mate. You know what will get you in? We got a freaking Kirby game, mate. You are playing Kirby. I don't want to hear it from you. Kirby Air Riders, mate. A sequel to Kirby Air Ride back in the old days, mate. Kirby Air Ride was the shit.
Feels crazy to get a second kart racer at this thing.
Yeah, and Masahiro Sakurai is back where he should be with the Curbster. It's good times. Mate.
Times, mate. Just time.
Now we've come to what I was talking about earlier. When we were talking about Mario Kart World Tour, I was talking about how they're evolving their franchises, evolving their games into something like completely different, completely innovative, really like taking it to the next level. We got the announcement of a new Donkey Kong game called Donkey Kong Bonanza, and that's coming the 17th of July. And it is effectively... It's like Mario Odyssey, but with Donkey Kong. Like, that's effectively the vibes it gives off. It is a 3D Donkey Kong, and it looks amazing. Like, I can't put into words how great it looks. The only thing that I would change, and I know I'm in the minority on this, is, like, it looks really good. The world looks great. I think the combat looks good. I think the story is going to be really interesting. There's a sexy monkey that everybody's really excited about. If we could change Donkey Kong's face so he's not such a goofy looking motherfucker, I would really appreciate that. Because he's just goofy looking. Like, I know he's going to grow on me and I'm going to love him. Like, I'm low-key thinking about changing my profile picture on Discord to his face. Because it's
not
so
seen a
goofy.
single other soul on this planet feel that way.
I know, dude. I know I'm in the minority. But every time he makes a face
The
like
minority is just you.
you goofy looking motherfucker. It's his eyes, dude. He's got Sonic eyes where his eyes are just one eye. And it freaks me out. I don't like it.
And it's almost like he would just look at one of your eyes at a time.
Yeah, I don't like it, dude. It's creepy. He's so goofy looking. But my God, does this game look good.
Yeah, I don't disagree with some of your comments there, but I hope they leave it. It looks really good, actually. Like, Donkey Kong deserves this game. You know,
He does, man.
That's where I feel.
He really does. What a great name. I really thought it was called Donkey Kong Banana when I first seen it. And then I seen the Z. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. What's really exciting about these, like what Mario Kart and Donkey Kong represent, you know, everything you said before about Nintendo games evolving, et cetera, but it also feels like a different generation. You know what I mean? Like the fact that we're getting, like, we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at the start of the last gen.
Yeah.
And we're getting Mario Kart World at the start of this gen.
Yep.
Just on names alone, you're like, oh shit. Like, we're just going to repeat the last gen. No, Mario Kart's a different format to every other one that's come before it. Donkey Kong Bonanza is not Super Mario Odyssey. Like, it just feels like a fresh generation in that sense as well, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Bananas. You know, my dumb ass when I first seen it didn't read Bonanza. I started trying to say bananas. I was like, bananas. I thought, like, there's got to have banana in there. But no, it looks great. I'm very excited about it. And then, yeah, so good. And then at the very end, they announced basically that there would be 2 flavors of the Nintendo Switch 2. You would get a base version of the console, and you would get a version that comes with Mario Kart World packed inside. Now, if they could just pack in the tour, it would be the perfect bundle. Later on, we got the prices. So we're going to talk about the prices now. So, for the Nintendo Switch 2 console, considering the controller is $200, this feels like a great price for it. $699.95 for Australian, by the way. So if you're listening from a different country, we know you're not, but we just let you know. Australian. And the pack-in with Mario comes to a beautiful $769.95 Australian. Whew. I'm not mad about it. I feel like that's where we were sort of thinking it was going to go.
We were hoping it would be 600. I feel.
A little bit.
700. I think if it was 600, you know, without the, like, this is my thing, and like, obviously every dollar matters, and everything feels like so fucking expensive these days. So, you know, I don't want to like discredit any of that. But I feel like if it was $600 and didn't come with a VRR display and didn't support 120 hertz, and a few of those things disappeared. Like I feel like I'd be less excited about the console, even though it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a really good fucking console, and unfortunately that means the price is high. It's the same price as the Series X, but I love my Series X. I think the Series X is the best console ever made, and I love the PS5. Like some of the games on that, well, not many of them, but like Spider-Man 2 and stuff, phenomenal, right?
Yeah. Great
consoles, fast, snappy, love it. The Switch 2 though, like it does things that my PC can't, or that the Xbox, like as in, if I look at my Xbox and PlayStation, it's like, oh, which one will I get a game on? Like, to a lot of people, it doesn't even fucking matter anymore. Where are the achievements or quick resume? So few differences, right? And the PC can do most of that. The Switch 2 though, there's a whole bunch of shit that nothing else in this room can do.
Yeah.
And that's exciting. And yeah, unfortunately, there's a high price, but I think the value is okay. Yeah. Now, to be fair, that's like a Ferrari or whatever. Like buying, let's say you buy a $200,000 car. It might be the best value on planet Earth, but I don't have 200 grand. So I acknowledge that the price is high. I understand that. But I do think it's a good console for the price.
I agree.
If Nintendo can slash the price, I mean, I wouldn't complain. But that's how I feel about the price. It's expensive, but I think it's going to be worth the money.
Yes.
That's my thought. How do you feel?
I agree with you. I think people need to remember that, of course it's going to be more expensive. It's doing so much more. And when comparing it to a PS5 Pro, I think the thing you all need to remember is a lot of the promises that were made for the PS5 Pro were identical for the promises made for the PS5, and they've both failed to deliver on it. The promises that they've made for this console don't, they might seem astronomical for what Nintendo's been able to accomplish, but for the first time ever, it feels like they're not making. Nintendo don't make promises and then not keep them. They've been pretty consistent in being like, we're going to deliver this. This is how we're going to do it. This is how much it's going to cost. And I wholeheartedly think that my $700 investment is well placed. I think I'm going to get a lot. I think I'm going to get another 10 years of good times, great games, and good experiences out of this thing. And I think that's what you need to remember. It's like, is it a lot right now? Absolutely. But you got to remember, 700 now. We can wait for it to get a bit cheaper in the future. I'm sure it will. I'm sure there'll be some new version, but you'll miss out on years of good times. $700 now is just an investment in the next 10 years of good times with Nintendo. You know what I mean? Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Banananananza are just the start. Who knows what they'll deliver with the next Smash, the next Zelda, the next Mario. The next Metroid Prime 4, that's just the beginning. I'm sure they're gonna try and get out another Metroid game for this console because of what it can do now. So yeah, and also let's not forget, the Switch Lite is a $300 handheld. So for $400 more, you're getting a console that can, 120 frames, HDR support, 4K, 2 USB ports, can be taken on the go. Brand new Joy-Con, magnetic Joy-Con, online. It's for a markup from a $300 Switch Lite. It's not that bad of an increase in price for what we're getting. For what a marginal step, it's a big step up. What's the Nintendo Switch worth? The original Switch is so at the moment. Yeah, at the moment, you can get a Switch 1 OLED with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for $540. But, look at how much of a step up this thing is comparatively to what that console is. And no one's complaining about the price of that. You know what I mean? No one's complaining about the PS5 Pro. You know what I mean? I think it's just the fact that Nintendo are making such big promises and then expecting us to pay such a big premium, where it's we paid a big premium for the PS5.
Though, right?
Yeah.
The PS5 Pro obviously has the PS5 that you can buy. But I don't know, man. The one thing I will say negatively about this price, though, although I did mention, maybe it would be a barrier to entry for families that want to buy all their kids a Switch too. I acknowledge that's probably quite a jump. But the thing it does make me nervous about is, the next Xbox and PlayStation. They're going to be $1,000 consoles.
Oh, yeah, easily. I think Xbox they're going to bite the bullet first. I think they're going to put out $1,000 modular console, and I think the next PlayStation is going to be like a $1,200 console that is like, easily.
Oh, last thing I want to talk about, and you may add more things to the list, obviously, because there was a whole bunch of other stuff. But the price of the games is the other interesting thing to do with money.
Yes.
So Mario Kart World is releasing at $120. So it's in America, it's like a $80 game digitally, a $90 game physically, and here we're seeing it 125. Hang on, just checking. EA games, yeah, 120 physical.
Yeah.
Now that's quite a jump. Like most Nintendo Switch 1 games are $80, maybe 90, depending where you shop. That's quite an increase. But it's interesting because Donkey Kong is not that expensive. So it's not like it's across the board that these games are more expensive. So it's $10 cheaper for Donkey Kong. So I guess what we're going to start seeing based on this small sample size of data is games are going to be priced at what they're worth, I guess. Like as in, you know, Mario Kart's going to sell. They're confident in that. It's a bigger game. They can up the price, get away with it. You know, some of that's negative, like them getting away with it, obviously. But the game being worth 120, maybe that's true. I don't know. Donkey Kong probably less guaranteed to sell, I would say. So they've dropped the price a little bit, making it a bit more competitive. I don't hate that initially, but it could be abused. You know what I mean? Like I think if Nintendo comes along and goes, "Hey, all of our games are priced between $90 and $120, depending on how big and valuable we think they are," you know, that might work. My fear is though that like Ubisoft's going to come along and go, "Hey, every one of our games is 120." It doesn't matter if it's Skull and Bones or if it's, you know, the next Assassin's Creed that we put millions of hours into. So I don't know. I feel uneasy about how abused we're going to get, but I do think it's interesting that they've priced Donkey Kong cheaper. Like, I think that's a good thing. But it's a good thing. It's still a $110 game, so that's a lot.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the price of games?
Not as strongly as Americans, because I mean, in this country we've been, you know, fucked in the ass when it comes to that stuff for years. So I'm just like so indifferent, you know what I mean? Like, my thing is, things are becoming more expensive. Games are also going to jump into that, you know what I mean? Things are becoming more expensive to produce and create. So I think it's going to, you know, it's going to be like that. Like, I think another reason for the price of, like, Mario Kart World Tour being maybe just a little bit more expensive than something like Donkey Kong, for example, is like, it would just, like, in my mind, this game has been in development for a very, very, very long time, and to recoup those development costs and, you know, innovation, this is the cost of innovation, you know what I mean? Like, we're just going to have to pay a little bit more of a premium price for Mario Kart. But I think another thing that, like, at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is like a perfect sort of is a perfect little proof of concept is they will support this game. You know what I mean? You're paying for something that will be supported. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe easily could have came out and been like, everything's here, enjoy. You know what I mean? But no, they added the booster courses, they added more tracks to it, and they added stuff up until almost the end of the Switch 1's life cycle. Same thing for Smash Bros. Ultimate, you know what I mean? It was like, everyone's here. And then they were like, hey, we're adding more people. And then they consistently added more fighters as time went on. And they could have easily just released it and been like, there you go, there's everything. And then, you know, moved on. So, I just think...
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I just think, like... I'm just playing devil's advocate to everybody here. Like, do I wish it was cheaper? Absolutely. But do I see why it's more expensive? I think so. Like, things...
I do hope the long-term support's cheaper, though. Like, as in, I hope if they add tracks, they're free now.
I think...
Like I hope we've invested up front as opposed to paid DLC.
Yeah, I think you'll probably find that will be the case. I think the only time I think that we'll see payment for this game will probably be if now, like, this is just rumor and that sort of stuff, but like if we see something like a third-party character being added to the roster. Like, you know, Smash Bros. Add stuff like characters from Tekken and Street Fighter. If Mario Kart were to suddenly start adding third-party characters to it, which is highly possible, because I feel like looking at this roster the way it is right now, they have exhausted every freaking Mario character in existence. Yeah. They're like adding the cow from Moo Moo Meadows and the bonefish from that random freaking lava level, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, everyone is legitimately here. Like, the only thing now is like, you could go to the other franchises, like you could add a Bokoblin from like Legend of Zelda, you know what I mean? You could add like an enemy from Donkey Kong, like a Metroid from Metroid, you know, like put Samus in there, you know. But I think, yeah, if they have to start like pulling from other franchises that aren't necessarily their own, I feel like that is when we will see payment becoming a thing. But I don't see them. I've been wrong before. I don't see them asking for more money for this thing, at least within the first year or two of its existence. I think.
Yeah, I think that'll help.
Yeah, I think if they need to put more development power and more people behind it, that's when we're going to see, hey, pay for this, because, you know, development is not cheap. And I mean, I just feel I'm the only good thing that's going to come from this price increase is that we might actually get a release date for GTA, because now they don't have to feel bad about charging Americans $100 because Nintendo did it first.
Yeah, I do think they'll come in at $80 personally, but that's more than the $70 of last gen.
And watch no one complain. No one will complain. They will be like, oh man, but like GTA's got so much that you can do. Like, it's got a big open world. So does Mario Kart. Oh, but yeah, but like you can play with your friends online, so you can do that with Mario Kart.
My complaint about GTA and Mario Kart is that the price is probably worth it. Is in like, if I pay $100 for GTA, let's say I pay $200 for GTA 6, I'll probably get my value out of that, right?
Yeah.
My problem is the economy of scales are off. Like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 70 million copies on the Switch. Like, that should be enough to cover the development of Mario Kart World 17 times over. You know, like, and Mario Kart World's going to sell, you know, tens and tens and tens of millions of copies. So it's like, at what point are they going to drop the price? I mean, they probably won't, right?
Well, I mean, the same thing could be said for GTA. GTA 5 is still selling copies to this day. So it's like...
But I will say, you can go and pick up a copy much cheaper than... Although they keep re-releasing it at full fucking price. So yeah, I can probably still stand. I mean... Yeah, like I guess it is what it is. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if this is the new world, which obviously it is, I hope that doesn't greenlight, you know, Ubisoft to make some, you know, shitty Skull and Bones and release that for $125. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you need to slot your games in where it's valued.
Yeah.
I think Xbox has been doing a very good job of that. Like,
they've been doing very well, yeah.
Hellblade came in at like $60, I think it was. Like, it's a shorter experience. Like, the price matches what you're getting into.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about the quality. It's just like the amount of time and value.
I think the only thing that stops Ubisoft getting away with that is like us as a consumer, because they've been doing a lot of shitty shit lately. They're doing a lot of dumb shit, and people are like picking up on that, and they are criticizing them for that.
Yeah, I can't imagine Skull and Bones sold that.
Yeah, and I just think that I honestly, they're like, hey, we're doing a second year of Skull and Bones. I'm like, cool. I wonder how many years did you promise of content to whoever paid for this? You know what I mean? You must have promised like a 5-year content cycle or something, and that's the only reason you're still putting resources and time into it, because I don't have a copy, and I'm a game collector. You know what I mean? Like, that should tell you how I feel about Skull and Bones, and just the absolute fucking travesty that, like, just the absolute bullshit that they've done. You know what I mean, lately. But, like, again, we got Shadows. Shadows is great. I'm really enjoying my time with it. Skull and Bones just felt like... I don't even think Ubisoft wanted to release Skull and Bones. Like, that's where I'm at. I don't think even they wanted to do it, but they were told to, so they've done it.
Anyone under the CEO. Because, yeah, so apparently, as of last year, like this time last year, they still hadn't hit 1 million players, and that included the free trial numbers. So, yeah, I guess, because they released that at $70 as well. Whereas I reckon if Skull and Bones came out at $30 or $40, I reckon they would have millions of players. And, well, I mean, they called it a quadruple A game, though. That's probably where it all went sideways. Anyway, this podcast is not about Skull and Bones. Probably coming to Switch 2 next year.
Oh, man. What a... yeah. Yeah, sad. Like, yeah, like, I just think. Here's the thing. Here's my last thing I'll say on price, right? And hopefully people understand what I'm trying to say. And I'm not trying to upset anybody. It's just like, when it comes to the price of video games, strap in. Someone had to do it first. It just so happened to be Nintendo.
I agree with what you've just said. I will add to it that if the price increases, I do hope the dodgy shit they do decreases. Like, if you're just going to charge us straight up $140 for GTA, let's calm the microtransactions down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if we're, if Call of Duty's going to be, $120, but as we've been seeing already, to be fair, all the maps are free and updates are free, then, there's a bit of room to move there. But maybe scrap the battle pass at that point. I don't know.
I think
that's where I'm sort of at.
I think this is going to see, we've seen, especially since like PS4, Xbox, like late PS4, Xbox One, I think everyone's been trying to chase that we are making like a cinematic AAA amazing game. I think the price increases and everything around that, and the fact that some of these games aren't reviewing very well, we're probably about to see the resurgence of the AA game, which is, I think, what the industry needs right now. It's just the resurgence of some cheaply developed but still fun, make great time for everybody AA games that don't need millions of dollars put into them and cutscenes that make you look like crazy and can cost like $80. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, and just games that I can play once a week and that's enough.
Yeah.
Or once a fortnight. I'd happily pay $40 for a game I play once a week.
Yeah, because like every game. Don't let anybody tell you any different. I'll tell you right now. Every game has become a games as a service, whether it says it's a single player game or not. Like, they are all games as a service. We need more games like, and not because it was my game of the year last year. Okay, we need more games like Warhammer 40k, where you get in, you have a co-op mode, you have a multiplayer that does one thing that you don't need to grind out every single time. It's just the multiplayer in. So, just quickly. Call of Duty's multiplayer feels like the main course now. It feels like you buy Call of Duty for multiplayer. You don't buy Warhammer for the multiplayer. It was just a nice little add-on if you wanted to stay in the world. So was co-op. And they both played exceptionally well, knew what they were doing, were quick, tight, precise, and were finished. Campaign was amazing, and what you paid for when you got in, it was awesome. I can't wait to play more. It was a solid, complete Xbox 360, PS3 package that had no ambition of being anything other than what it was, and I would happily go out and buy another copy right now on another console. So good. That's what we need. We need more of that.
Amen to that.
Mate. Exciting times. I'm just so excited that we've got like a Switch on the way that's coming June 5th. Like, it's so close. So close.
It's so close, part of me's like, I'm going to the Melbourne Switch experience in early May. There's a little part of you that's like, I'll just have my own in like 3 weeks. Do I bother?
It's one of those things where it's like, if something comes up, maybe I'll give it a miss. Like, is that where you're at right now?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't cancel last minute because they're hard to get. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be doing someone a favor by canceling today if I'm going to cancel. But there's that part of me that's like, if it was coming out in July or August or September, I'd be like, what a privilege to get it in there a month early. And it's still a privilege, of course. Like, awesome, I got a ticket. But I'm like, I'll have my own that I can fuck around with for weeks or months.
Well, I mean, if you flog one from the event, like, you've only got to hide it for a few weeks.
That's true. I mean, like, they flew some people to New York.
Yeah. Not me,
those
though.
Things were like chained to the fucking desk.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, yeah.
I'm like, fair enough, totally fair enough. But I'm like, the ones I have access to are probably going to be welded to the desk.
Wasn't there like, there was a story that like, I'm pretty sure it was the Switch 1 and it was in New York and it was at Nintendo New York where it was before the launch and someone flogged it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they flogged the Switch. Like, they took one. They got away with it.
Fuck.
And it was like, but it was like, thankfully, Switch 1 was like literally a quick turnaround too. It was just a couple extra months, like, than what we're getting. It was like 4 months between reveal and when we got it. But yeah, like, so the reason they were probably chained and they were all under armed guard is because they were waiting for that guy to come back. They were going to get him this time.
I'm actually, on that point though, the previous point you made, I'm glad that the original reveal of Switch 2, like a couple of months ago, was like fuckable.
Yeah, I agree.
So glad we got everything in this draft.
I agree. I think if we'd gotten this a few months ago, the wait would have been fucking excruciating.
Yeah, agreed.
Would have been the worst. But, mate, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, mate. We'll come back again. We'll do it all again next week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening, watching, being here. We really do appreciate it. There's so much more to talk about when it comes to this console, and you can keep the conversation going over on oneupgames.com, in the comments down below, or over on our Discord. You can find links to all that down below. We have a lot of stuff on the website right now for the Switch too, so head on over there, read up, enjoy, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you're here on YouTube, please like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything we're doing. We would really appreciate it. There's some changes coming soon, so definitely subscribe to the channel. We're gonna have some updates coming very, very soon, because it's at the time of recording, it's 1UP's second birthday tomorrow. Crazy, because I feel like we started 1UP like a couple of days ago, so it's crazy. It's already been
maybe a week tops.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. It's crazy. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody. But yeah, that's gonna do it from us this week. We'll be back next week. I don't even know what we're gonna talk about. Maybe more Switch 2. Like, something's got to happen between now and then, you know what I mean? Like,
we're overdue for a good whinge about Halo. No,
yeah, you know what? We'll be back next week to whinge about Halo. We'll talk about Marvel Rivals and how thirsty every single player is on that game. And then, you know, I'm sure we'll find something to talk about. But until then, ladies and gentlemen.
Play Verdansk. That's what we
should talk about. Verdansk! Yes, we should play Verdansk. Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. Jesus Christ. Something else that came out at the same time as the Switch one. Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Until next time, mate, all your games be good ones. And we will catch you guys next week. Bye, everybody.